Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another torturous episode of Cosmere Connections. Today, we have read up to day 8 of Wind and Truth. We have stopped at the end of that date, so we have only read 79% of Wind and Truth. Next week, we will finish Hallelujah.
And by next week, you mean before the weekend comes.
Yeah, tomorrow, I'll have read it.
Yeah.
And it will make my mother very happy because she was very annoyed over Christmas break that she was the only one that had finished it.
As you can probably tell, Swiggity's not with us today. He is sadly sick, so I have a few notes of his that I will bring up as we go through the story. Everybody's saying we miss you, Swiggity, in the comments. And
we miss you, Swiggity, in the comments.
We miss you, Swiggity, in the comments. Due to the fact last week we kind of tried to do our normal routine, and that kind of made us miss out on an entire day. Granted, the day was very short, so it wasn't that much. We're going to try something new with this episode, where instead of doing it by chapter, we're going to do it by character story. So, to start us off, which is also the beginning of this chapter set, is Dwyel.
Yeah.
Who is the granddaughter of the shoemaker.
Yeah, if anyone remembers that shoemaker Yim back in, what was that, Words of Radiance?
That was Way of Kings.
No, that was Way of Kings. That was my favorite. That's my favorite interlude.
Wow, yeah.
That's why I kind of gave up on Way of King back when I first started reading it. Because I was like, why the heck am I reading about a shoemaker now?
Because it's important.
Yeah. This interlude is
so much fun.
Not at all important to the story whatsoever.
But I guarantee you it's important to Dragonsteel.
Important to the Cosmere. I was going to say to the Cosmere in general.
I mean,
okay, fine.
We get to see some of our old favorite characters. We get Damu, we get Goradon, and we got Galadon, and the third one.
Who is, what's his name?
White Sand.
Yeah, he's from White Sand.
That's why I can't.
What's his name?
Oh
my god, it's gonna kill me. I'm gonna...
I will go check my notes real quick.
I was just gonna open up my book.
Okay, or do that. I'll leave that to you. But we see them, they're talking with the granddaughter, and then we see that the spren that what's the guy's name? The shoemaker?
Yim.
Yim's daughter actually got the spren after he was killed. And they realize that, the planet isn't safe anymore, so they dip by going through the hand.
We can elaborate on that a little bit more.
Somehow the water hand, which has confused me ever since that interlude, which we were introduced to it, speaks, opens a perpendicularity.
It's not a water hand, it's a giant spren whose name is eluding me right now, and that's why I haven't jumped in and said that, explained this whole thing.
Kusasech,
yes. Okay. So Kusasech, for those who've forgotten, is a giant spren that shows up once a day like clockwork at the same time every day, and I want to say it's 9 pillars?
Bayon, that's his name. The third guy. Bayon.
But anyway, pillars of waters come up, and it, reaches over and touches the pillars of water. Maybe it's 10, one for each finger, I don't remember. And then its face changes over and over again real fast, and then it just kind of goes away. But today, it doesn't just go away. It speaks to the Iriali, opens a perpendicularity, and they are able to pick up their basically, go bags, and vamoose, and we don't know where they went.
Iriali have go bags.
Right. Yep, they have travel packs. All Iriali keep their travel packs.
So, I don't think we can talk about this, because honestly, there's nothing in this we know about.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we know that Iriali have appeared in bits and bobs in other places in the Cosmere, and that they're traveling across their path of, 9 worlds?
I think it's 9 worlds.
The 9, yeah.
And Roshar's the 4th, and now they're going to the 5th. So we'll see.
And one of the worlds after this
Lumar.
is Lumar, which is where Tress takes place.
Yes, because we
My
see
only-
Uriali there. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My only theory that I got for this is I don't think this Spren is a Spren. I think it's some Guardian sliver assigned to the Uriali, and it's supposed to be their travel guide, or maybe the literal travel aspect. I don't think this is a Roshar thing.
It's possible. And people just took it for a Spren because it's a spirit thing, kind of like how they take Siona's Spren.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, it's Valor.
It's not Valor.
It's not. It's not. But I'm just... We got so much stuff about Valor and nothing about the 16th yet.
It's not another Spren. I don't... not a shard, I mean. It's not another shard.
Anything else for that?
Nope.
So the next thing we got the Odium ones, in which the only one that really I think was huge was, in my mind, the fact that Cultivation had a hit squad, and then he
Also, they were the
destroys...
Natin. They were the Natin people.
Who are the Natin?
They
The
were the
one-
Natin people. Those were the hit squad. They were all from Natin because he talks about... He mentions that they're blue skin. They have a blue tint to their
Oh.
skin. It's the Natin people.
Yeah, they're Natin
We're all
ninjas.
Okay.
Yeah,
See, if you
which
had
I
gone
thought
blue
was
skin,
really-
it would have...
I thought that was really interesting, was that they were all of the people that she sent to attack were Natin. And he said, oh yeah, those are like Cultivations people. I was like, they're Cultivations people? Like what? Since when?
Is
You really
Cultivation
haven't-
doing like genetic engineering? Trying to like cultivate like the perfect human?
Could be. We don't know a lot about
Possibly.
what Cultivation's motivations are other than, growing things.
Yeah.
We also don't know a whole lot about the Natin people, just in general.
I'm gonna quickly check to see, because that's literally the only Odium thing that comes to my
And then
mind.
Teravandian destroys Carpronth.
Mhm.
Yeah, with a tidal wave.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah,
like...
basically showcasing, okay, there's no going back. I will conquer the Cosmere no matter what it takes, because it is what I believe the best thing to do to save everybody.
Yep.
And I think
Crazy.
the other one was like one page, and it was after the lift one.
Yeah, and it really didn't
No.
say much.
Speaking of lift,
Oh my god.
so I forgot to bring it up last episode, but I was going to ask, who do we think would win at this current level, Rosharns or Scadrians? And then Lift just shows up and demolishes a full Ferrochemist.
To be fair, Lift demolished the Ferrochemist mostly because, and on that note, y'all can't claim that he's trying to, like, keep his series enjoyable independently anymore. You don't know what a Ferrochemist is unless you've read Mistborn, and now there's one that, like, how are you supposed to know that that's, like, one, even a thing, and two, like, awesome and badass?
I feel so bad for
like,
the Ferrochemist, like tapping speed and then just suddenly ultimate friction at your feet, and you just hear crack, and gosh, it just
I know.
shivers to
So
imagine
this is
it.
the first time that we've really seen edge dancers use their powers in this way.
She tried to do it before, earlier in the
She
book.
did try to... Lift did it earlier before, but we haven't seen any other edge dancers use it that way.
We haven't
with,
seen any other edge dancers all that much.
Well, and we also don't know if they can do it that way.
Yeah.
So that remains
That's
to
my-
be seen.
But
That
my
is my
point
biggest-
was that
sorry.
it leads into the fact that, like, Vasher sees her doing this and is like, oh my god, you have so much raw talent.
Which
Like,
I frankly disagree with Vasher. She just happened to have the hard counter. Like, how
I
do you...
think she I think she has raw talent, but I also think like she did get lucky because any. I don't imagine what was the person's name? Axenwith.
Yeah.
Axenwith has fought like a lot of Radiants, much less an Elf Scholar, much
Edge
less one
dancer.
Edge Dancer. Sorry, much less an Edge Dancer, much less somebody who thinks
Wait a
like Vin.
minute.
Uh, lift.
Why am I? I'm sorry. I'm getting back to the UK schedule. It's 2:30 in the morning. Left. um, but geez, yeah, just so first of all, Vasher's free. That was awesome. Um, the fact
Well,
that Vasher
he's
is going to be teaching Lift is concerning
Why is that concerning?
because Vasher has like full knowledge of Cosmere and Investiture and how to ultimately use powers to their fullest extent, and Lift is Lift.
Yeah, lift is awesome.
She is, but I don't like the concept of her with access to full knowledge.
Why?
She basically put glue on the floor with just her powers and literally broke this guy's ankles. I don't want to know what she can do with full knowledge of everything else.
To be fair, she wasn't trying to break their ankles.
True. Um, okay, I did pull it. Let's see.
wasn't
My
there
only
an,
other comment.
wasn't
Sorry.
there an Axendweth in Mistborn Era 2?
Yep. No.
I checked.
But Axendweth is the same. This is the same person that gave Venli
Yeah, no, I
the
know.
the gem that contained. I'm also just want to let everyone know in
Oh,
case
yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't
Okay,
notice.
fair enough.
I had
This
to
is
go
the
back and
same
look it up.
person who gave Venli the gem that contained Ulim originally in when we saw her flashbacks in Rhythm of War. Um,
Hmm.
I
I
have
did
a
go back and looked for it on Coppermine because I thought the name had appeared in Era 2, but I couldn't find anything.
yeah. I wonder what I'm
no,
thinking of.
uh, Wax's terrace name is very similar.
Mm,
It's a similar sounding name. I can't remember what it
Hmm.
is, but it's a very similar sounding name, so that might be what you're thinking. Um,
And refresh my memory. This takes place. Stormlight 5 takes place right before Era 2, right?
correct. Era
yes.
2 takes place between Stormlight 5 and 6.
So there shouldn't.
Asinthu.
Yeah, Asinthu is
Okay, maybe that is it.
Wax's terrace name, so that might be
Maybe.
because it sounds very similar to Axendweth, so that might be where.
So we should be able to infer that as a world hopper, Axendweth is not the age she appears to be, because by this point in the overarching Cosmere, full ferochemists and full Mistborn have not been a thing for a while.
Well,
Correct.
Like a couple hundred years.
where are you getting full Mistborn? We know she's a full ferochemist, but not.
Just
He
because
just
they
meant in
both,
general.
in general, kind of faded
Okay.
away at the same time, or around the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that is. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Possible.
She's
Yeah,
got to be at
very
least
much
200
likely.
years old.
Ooh.
Yes.
But then where was she during the rec? Ooh, that's an interesting thought I did not think of.
But she might not have been on
She might not have been
Roshar.
on Roshar, but she's definitely older than her age would,
Yeah.
you know. Not that it's
So
going to matter going forward, because she's
Or
dead now.
here's the question about her, because she is a full ferochemist, and we know that full ferochemists don't exist after Harmony takes over. Do we think that she comes from before
or
the Lord Ruler was killed?
or does she just have like along her body a lot of coins taped to her body?
No.
Like we're trusting uh Zahel. Zahel? That doesn't sound
You
right.
could just call
Zael.
him Warbreaker or Vasher.
Vasher, that's the one I'm
Or
trying to.
Kalad if you want.
I mean, we're trusting Vasher, who just says she was a full ferochemist. Like, we're trusting that as implicit of she is genetically a ferochemist, not that she had all the abilities.
I
I'm just saying this
think
is somebody
it's
who's working with the Ghost Bloods, right?
we don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't think we know that.
Well,
We just know
Well,
she's
yeah.
Scadrian, Off-World,
yeah, she's Scadrian, she's from Offworld.
not doing not doing nice things.
She could be a member of a number of secret
It
societies
is
or whatever.
possibly
Do we need
somehow
another one?
connected to the Ghost Bloods because of the fact that the last time we saw the parrot was when Maraise took it captive.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, that's kind of our indication that she's probably part of the Ghost Bloods. Also, the fact that she's Scadrian
It's
is
likely, yeah, I'll give you that. It's very
also makes it
likely.
more likely.
So I'm just saying, like, Kelsier could have just, like, here's like 10, 16 coins, just tape them to your back. Or nails.
The reason I don't think it's that is because Vasher is of such a heightening that he should have an innate ability to kind of sense a level of investiture.
Correct.
Two things. One, is there an investiture sense heightening?
It's a life
Um,
sense thing, which
Ah,
you can't detect because you can't detect a drab. You wouldn't. That implies that the breath is the part, or is it the breath is the invested part of a person. So without that, and the fact that you can't detect a person using the life sense if they are a drab, tells you by inference that they are in fact detecting the investiture.
and
okay.
you with breaths, you can reach a point where you can instinctively tell about how many breaths someone is holding. But I don't know how that necessarily transfers to other types of investiture.
Please tell us more, Miss Breath Hacking Panel. My only thing is, just like when we had Kelsier and like there was no confirmation we saw that he had powers, I'm just saying there's no confirmation we know for certain she is genetically a full ferochemist.
Yeah, because presumably if she had a bunch of nails jammed in her back, she would be gaining that level of investiture.
But it would also leave her spirit web open to influence by the shards.
Which is not something someone who's working as a secret agent would probably want to open themselves up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else for that point of view?
Now that we've gone way too in depth on that, sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna switch it around.
I
Let's go to
also,
Yas.
just a side note, I really enjoy Lift, and I really enjoyed her pretending to be Navani. It's
Oh
very
my
funny.
gosh, yeah. I wish
Um,
that Hoyd had done Navani and she had done Dalinar, and that would have been so much more funnier in my mind.
no, I think Lift as
Because, like,
Navani is pretty funny.
but I feel like Hoyd could pull off like a good Navani, but Liv
But
trying to pull
that's
off
the
Dalinar would be utterly hilarious.
It was already pretty hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah, but everybody just thought like Navani was just having an off day. Can you imagine Dalinar trying to do those things and how
The
everybody would
only
think it's
reason
going
everyone
insane?
thought Navani was having an off day was because Lift had minders around her everywhere she went, and if she started saying something batshit crazy, they pulled her out.
I don't know. I
Like,
don't
that is
like
the
Lift
only reason.
personally. I just don't.
I love her.
I
I
love
love her so
Lift.
much. I literally wrote because what happened before was the Sigzil thing, and I was like, Lift, I need you to cheer me up right now, please. And then it starts off with her being like sad and depressed, and I'm like, no, not you too.
I did like her
She's just
line when she uh, talks to Zyle, I think it was. She's like, "Do you need help? Because I'm like a hero or something."
Yeah. Uh, okay. We'll come back to the Sigza one because I feel like we're gonna get angry. The Yasna one, real quick.
Taravangian revealed himself to her.
and threw down a gauntlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so we finally know what her character arc is. Not character arc, but what
I
she's going to be doing for the next 2 days.
also, I would like to say, I called it. I definitely knew that Taravangian was going to try to flip um Thalen City, like he did with Emil and Tukar. The second that they said that those ships were empty, I was like, oh, he's going to get he's going to get um the queen deposed and put a new person on the throne that is sympathetic to him and will agree to him, or he's gonna flip her somehow. That's literally what I thought.
I think so. The whole thing is going to be basically what Adolin did last book, where Queen Fen is going to be, sitting up somewhere, and you're going to have. I don't imagine Odium himself is going to be there, but Odium and Yasna are going to basically say, "Here's why you should join our side." I can't. I don't know. I can imagine it going both ways. But like I think Yasna it's gonna have to be you're finally gonna see Yasna kind of be a little bit emotional. Sort of like how she was with Renarin. Like when she like I can't kill my cousin.
Hmm.
And like I think she has to do something like that. Because Yasna is very much a hard thinker. And this whole thing was about I need to think my way through. I think her character point in the next 2 episodes or for that is going to be I need to show emotion in some way.
Hmm.
Like have her say, you just need to trust us. I can't offer you more proof, but trust us.
And
I hope
honestly,
it's not that.
I wouldn't blame uh Queen Fen for flipping,
Yeah, me neither. It's either that.
considering how the war is going.
What I'm, what I can also see is like Odium gets all the countries, but somehow in the final battle they like flip it, so now they all have an or they have Odium, and so it means nothing. I could see that happening.
What do you mean?
I, I don't know how it would happen, but I imagine like Odium has like conquered Roshar, with the exception of Erytheru. But like they're through whatever final challenge there is, they're able to, I don't know, take Odium the Shard, put it into one of theirs, and so now basically they are in charge of Odium, so it negates the fact it's an opposing force. And there was a line, shoot, where was the line? I think it was in one of Seth's things where it's like the Spren are unhappy or something. And I'm imagining like back half is going to be physical entities versus the Spren entities.
Pure speculation. Moving on.
Okay. Sigzil.
Poor
I could not
Sigzil.
I could not hate Moesh anymore if I wanted to. I did
I
not think
mean-
I could. Now I do.
You're supposed to. He's the bad guy.
I know,
A
but like
bad guy. But he's
The
not
fact
even
that-
like. He's not even like a bad guy. He's just out of control.
he's exactly what
Yeah.
happens when a person falls and does not want to get up again. He has reached rock bottom and he's not even going to climb up anymore. He's like, I don't care about anything. I will kill all of the people I used to care about. And like the fact that he has the spikes in his eyes and he can just see Spren now, that's
Mhm.
horrifying.
Yeah, I want to
Yep.
know more about the crystal spikes.
The crystal things are weird because it also ties into the Seth thing, the Seth flashback,
Right.
which we'll get into later.
Well, okay, so what can we infer from that? That we Daigon Arthas is almost certainly. No, wait, never mind. We had a. Hold on. Carry on while I organize my brain.
My other thought about the Sigil stuff was they said that the one unmade that causes everybody to have the death rattles
Oh.
took a host and was killed.
No, Yelignar was killed. Yelignar is the one who went into Amram and who went
Oh,
into
okay.
the Queen of Alethkar, Elokar's wife, whose name I'm blanking on.
Aesudan.
Gotcha.
Aesudan, um, who takes a host. That's the one who died, not Moalak. You're thinking Moalak, who is the one who does the death rattles.
Gotcha. Okay.
Although Moelok is there.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, but the one guy's death rattle absolutely would have wrecked
Oh,
Sigzil.
That
It
would
was
have
so
yeah.
that would have
heartbreaking.
messed up anybody to hear them be like, "Wait a minute, I'm you. I'm dying." Ah!
I'm
Like,
dying, and your Spren is also dying.
hmm It's like the death rattle is like saying he blames him by dying in a friend that has failed me or something. I can't find it in time. Oh, but it was
Yeah.
so heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna find it.
Leighton's death rattle.
Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. But that hurt me. Um, anything else? Okay, wait. No, we've got Adolin as well.
Adolin!
right in the foot.
Adolin! Oh my god, he
I was
took out that Thunderclast! Let's go, Adolin!
Swiggity.
But then he immediately loses his leg, which is bummer. Um,
Swiggity wanted to say that the Adolin versus Thunderclass was very much like the game Shadow of the Colossus, and he loved it.
I
yeah.
suppose it would be. I've never actually played that game, but I can imagine it would be.
I was not expecting Adolin to get How to Train Your Dragon. Am I the only one that knows? Okay.
No, I know what
I've
you're talking
seen the
about.
movie, but I don't know what you're talking about.
It
the
means that
end
he
of the
lost his
movie.
leg.
At the end of the movie,
Oh,
Hiccup loses his leg.
Hiccup loses his leg. That's what he's trying to
I don't
reference.
remember
It was
that,
a
but
bad
okay.
reference, but
Oh, thanks, Kay. You laughed, so it at least, it landed. Poorly, but it
Partly.
landed. But, like, Adolin is not having a good time.
Adolin is not having a good time at
No,
all.
and I think that this might be the thing that like breaks him because I could see him getting back to Urithiru at the end and meeting up with Renarin, and Renarin tries to heal him and the leg won't grow back because he's too fixated on the fact that he can't fight anymore.
I
And
don't think so.
I could see it
I
happening.
think I could see it happening, but I could see it not as like he doesn't think he can fight, but maybe he doesn't want to fight anymore.
No, he totally wants to be able to fight. It's the last thing that he had left to him that made him feel useful. He's totally going to want to fight. And
Yeah.
I think that his inability to do so right now is going to make him fixate on the fact that he lost his leg, which is going to solidify that in his spirit web and make it irreparable.
I don't think so. I think if he wants to, I think he's gonna get his leg back. I think the only way he doesn't is if like he wants to give up the fight. But I think, come the end, he'll get his leg back. I don't know what's going on with Maya is what I can't understand. What reinforcements are she?
She's totally pulling the Deadeyes out of the ocean. 1,010%. She's gonna
Yeah,
show up in Aesir with 1,000 freaking shard blades, and it's gonna be let's go.
jeez, can you imagine every single person having a
Yes,
shard
I
blade?
can 1,000% imagine that happening. Yes,
That would be
That
so
would be
cool.
awesome.
that is worthy of the Sanderlanche. Come on.
Absolutely. But like, what happened to all the ones that have been forgotten and faded? Can she bring those back?
Maybe not. Probably not. We are gonna find out.
But like, I kind of like the one guy that died who he had befriended. That hurt, and like the fact like his helmet was crushed and like there was just gore. It was like, oh, this is a little dark. Thanks, Brandon.
He got smashed into jelly.
Shoot, there was a line though. I think what's her name? The girl who really likes doing violent things.
Something with a
May
Z.
Aladar.
No. The one that's apprenticing under May Aladar.
Yes. The the one who went like, so if I just get a shard blade, I can go fight.
Oh, the little Azish girl. Oh, she's
Yes.
fun. Yeah.
I think she might
Oh,
be a Dustbringer in the future.
Could be.
She has pure Dustbringer energy to me.
She was hilarious. I enjoy her.
I love her so much. Wow, we're just rolling. We should have just done chapters this time.
No. We haven't hit the meat of this yet.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of nibbling at the
Also,
crust.
within this section, can we talk about Tom?
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
forgot
About
about that.
freaking time.
Heck
Like-
to the yes.
Just the fact that the monarch, who's like the head of the fused in this like group, like walks in there, sees Tom, and then runs away, pissing his pants because he's so scared of him.
And then
Because he just comes
He's like,
in
kill all
and,
the
and
weaklings
kills everyone
except for
with his
Poshu.
bare fucking hands.
A pile of dead bodies, and then just Tom with spears sticking out of his back.
And Ash was also there, and she had like a knife or something. But yeah, Tom,
Yeah.
finally, dude, yes.
Yeah, with
He
his
just
bare
cleans house.
hands. His bare fucking hands. Like,
Let's go.
just like
Oh my
cleans
gosh,
house.
yes.
Kills multiple fused, multiple regals. Like, just like demolishes. And by multiple, I mean like
All.
dozens.
in the
like
teens
100.
of fused
Like,
and
yeah.
untold regals.
Yeah, like before they eventually are able to like take him down and kill him. And I thought it was nice that like Ash decided to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I am not leaving him alone again.
Okay, so I got a quick question regarding Harold's dying. They're supposed to go back to Braze.
Mhm.
So this kind of goes into the Shalon one. Shalon kills her mom. She goes back to Braze, breaks semi-immediately. That causes everything.
Yeah.
Tom still stays there for a time.
Do we know how soon broke?
No.
Yeah, we don't
She-
know for sure.
She
She
says
could have held out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
She says she tried to hide, but they found her.
She could have been in hiding for a couple of years, for that matter.
I don't know. But like my thing is like even with Tom and Ash, where did they go? Like they go back to Brace, but like I want to know what happens when they do.
Well,
Where are
there's
they
been
hiding?
mention-
Gonna have to wait.
There's
You're
been
gonna
mention
have
of
to wait
something
until
called
the
the Well
back
of
half.
Souls, but we don't know anything
Yeah.
about it. I'm assuming it's a perpendicularity of some kind, because now we know thanks to our encounter with what was the name of the sprite
The
again?
chasm friends.
Nope.
The voice?
Nope. The
Mm.
the one that leads the Eerie alleyway, Kusaketch.
Oh, the hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not a hand.
In my mind, it's a hand.
Anyway, because of Kusaketch and what Demu and Galadon and the other guys say, we know that there are multiple types of perpendicularities now, which we could kind of infer before from having read Mistborn Era 2 as well, because they kind of make one. But we had no reason at that point to think that that would have any effect on their functionality. But now...
Every other perpendicularity we've seen has been a pool, really. There have been different things that could be classified as perpendicularities, but nothing was a perpendicularity.
Well, I guess we did have two, because Dalinar made the one that was like a beam of light, so we do kind of have two. But
We've
Yeah.
got something that allows investiture to flow from the spiritual realm out. And then there's the one that allows you to go to the cognitive and vice versa.
That you two travel between realms.
Yes. Man, this would have been good to know for our panel.
little tidbits, man, little tidbits.
But like, my
But I
thing is
think-
like, sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say, just like quick note. I think what Kusasech is doing is more like an L-skate versus like a full perpendicularity.
Could be.
My thing is like, aren't the heralds supposed to, upon a desolation, supposed to be TP'd immediately back to Roshar? So why are they still in Braze?
We don't know enough about how the Oath Pact works. I mean, that's what we were led to assume, but it's an
True.
assumption.
True. I'm the one making an assumption now. Okay.
And
Well, and it's the
also,
natural.
like, just because you're able to come back doesn't necessarily mean that you can come back right away. Because, like we see with the fused, like, not all of the fused have awakened.
Maybe Talon's just gone like full Doomslayer mode on Braze, and Ash is like not willing to like. They have to do something mentally to TP back, and Ash is not willing to do that until she's got Talon. And
Well,
so Talon's just running around killing as much as he can, basically doing nothing though, and she's just trying to catch up with him. Or
the
he's
other
captured
thing
and she's trying to break him out.
is that the Oath Pact is not currently at its normal state,
That is
and
the big one.
this desolation isn't functioning the same way that previous desolations have because of the Everstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So, we don't know what the formal rules are. That is coming soon, I will say. That is mere chapters away, I hope.
Hopefully.
Because, oh my god, I'm gonna go nuts.
Okay. Anything else for Adolin's segment?
Oh, that's who we were talking about?
Yeah, we were on Adolin's segment. Okay. Team Chasm Fiends. Team Chasm Friends.
Chasm Friends!
So, okay.
I was not expecting that.
So it's Odium's perpendicularity,
Yeah.
not a Dawn Shard.
They seem to imply that a Dawn Shard is there and that it enhanced everything at that area.
No, that's definitely the
No,
singularity doing
it's
that.
the perpendicularity
Or
doing that.
Perpendicularity, yeah.
Thought they implied like the Dawn Shard was
No.
basically
It's the huge
adding
amount
to
of
it.
extra investiture coming from the perpendicularity.
Correct.
I'm gonna quickly just
But the question
my-
is... Well, no, because... Never mind, that was answered. Never mind.
What was your question?
My question was going to be, how come nobody noticed it beforehand? Because presumably, the Stormform singers that actually summoned the Everstorm would have been exposed to enough void light to be able to sense the new rhythm.
Mm. But it wasn't that. It's that I guess you needed to be both of kind of the what was implied is that you needed to be both of honor and of odium in a way to be able to sense it.
Right.
Because like Venli was the only one who was able to sense it.
But that makes me wonder why you need any of honor. Is honor's remnant somehow cutting off, I don't know, some portion of Odium's ability to access his perpendicularity? Is that how they trapped him on Roshar?
Mm.
And it just covers that signal up somehow? Because, like, all of the Horn Eaters can... Well, not all of, but a genetically native portion of the Horn Eaters know about the waters of life that are cultivation's perpendicularity, but they don't carry any of the other shards' investiture.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it. In my mind, it was there's the Dawn Shard far below, and basically Odium was using the Dawn Shard to like allow the perpendicularity to form there quicker, and that allowed the Everstorm to form there easily, or just
Why do you think it's a Dawn Shard?
because
We did
Don't
talk
we
about
have-
it a lot. As
they
being
did
a
talk
Dawn
about
Shard.
yeah, and also don't we have Awab or Brandon has said that the Shattered Plains were caused by the Dawn Shard? Or am I just losing my mind at this point?
I don't know. I don't listen to the words of Brandon, like, religiously, so...
I think there was something related to a dawn shard and the shattered plains, but I can't remember what the actual like wording was for
I can't find it at the moment.
It's okay.
Like that's how I read it, is that there is a Dawn Shard buried even deeper.
I mean, there could be, because after all, if they crashed a moon into the Shattered Plains, that's gonna leave a pretty big, deep hole.
Oh yeah, and L is there. I forgot
it.
that L was in this book.
Ugh.
Who was like all hyped up at the end of the last one to be the Thanos threat, and then we've gotten like one chapter.
I mean, he could still be being set up for the back five. Like,
That's not I'm willing to bet.
Yeah.
But like for somebody that was like, I cannot wait to rule the humans, to have him be like that in Rhythm of War, to I get one appearance so far on
You can
4/5.
you can tell though that he's pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Like he is very much doing that.
Um, Anything else for Team Chasm friends? Okay. I feel like Team Therapy is probably the next one. So, got Kaladin, not Ishar, Nail,
And
and
Nail.
Zeth, in which we learned, and I don't think I knew this, Nail was a Skybreaker before all of this. I know he had the powers of a Skybreaker, but he said like he and his friend would go to Braze together. So that implies he was bonded and became a
yeah, he was one
Yeah.
of the first heralds to actually join the order. I think
He
maybe even
was
the
the
only.
only he
Yeah.
was the only herald to join his order.
But
But what
in
you're saying is that you didn't realize that that happened prior to Ahari Etiam. That's what you're
yes,
saying.
I thought that he gave up his thing, kind of got lost for a few hundred years, and then later took it back, and then joined the Skybreakers and became their de facto king at that point. I did not realize he was already a Skybreaker.
Yeah, I think there was a mention to it that like he was the one who like at first rejected the Radiance the most, and then like threw himself into it and like wholeheartedly accepted it afterwards, and was the only one to actually join the order. I think there
Uh,
is a mention of that in one of the other books. I can't remember which one.
mhm. Um, I called it that Seth's sister was going to be one of the Herald Barrows. Freaking called it, and it hurts. And now we know
She
why.
was a bitch from the get-go.
I liked her. She was so sweet. She
What?
was complete.
Are
She
you
was
reading the
so
same book?
understandable. Yes, she was completely understandable. I completely understood her pain, and I knew why she was so upset.
Okay.
I understood it. But like now we know why they keep pushing for Seth to, kill everybody. Because they want him to be the new 10th Radiant.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
Herald.
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 also the people that he's been fighting, we find out, are already dead.
Yeah.
So they're something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they're
Like,
cognitive shadows, but they're definitely something.
do we think that if, all goes to plan and like he gets the line of the oath pack attached to him, a new honor blade will appear in his hand?
You know, that's how it happened in the first place, but
What happens to the previous one? What happened to Jessrian's? Does it just... Oh, how fun it would be if Moash is standing above like somebody about to kill him and then his blade disappears and then it just reappears in Seth's hand.
that would be a thing.
I also don't think it would be a good idea for Seth to become one of the
No.
heralds.
I mean, he's just like them. He's already mental.
He's already that mentally unstable.
But that's why it's not good. because he's already mentally unstable. And like having that weight put on him,
It,
like in that
that'd be
like
bad.
stress, that would not be good for him.
Well, maybe it's like some weird negative mathematics where sanity plus braze equals insanity, insanity plus braze equals sanity.
I don't think it works like that.
I don't think that's how it works.
Maybe this could be good for him. A nice vacation to hell.
No.
Let's see what else was in this one. I can't do it by my notes anymore because I don't organize them by character arc. Kaladin is racist towards high spread.
Hey,
No,
you leave
Syl is
12124 alone.
Syl is racist towards high spread.
Cal was accidentally racist twice during that conversation.
Syl's the one who says that's racist.
Syl also doesn't like high spread at all.
It's true. She is prejudiced.
She knows 124 was that nails?
12124.
No, 124 is nails.
Yeah, 124 is nails. 12124 is sets.
But like she knows it. She's like, oh, I hate that one.
He's so uppity.
How long? I need. Okay, but like, what are high sprints supposed to be embodiments of? Like every other sprint is like an embodiment, with the exception of honor sprint, of like something. Cryptics are like mathematics. Mist-sprint are mist. Stormfather is, thing, and he creates the honor sprint. What are high sprints supposed to be concepts embodied?
I don't necessarily agree with your premise. Honor Spren, I mean, they don't embody anything, really. They're just blue people. They're Blue Man Group wannabes.
I might just be understand, but that's each of the sprints seem to embody.
It seems like they maybe come from a sort of natural phenomenon. Like cryptics are formulas. Like they come from formula. They associate with that. Honor Sprens sort of kind of associate with like.
Honor Sprens are weird because directly tied to honor.
Sort of oaths, but not even. I mean, kind of the letter. Yeah, they're weird. They don't play nice.
It's just what I'm saying.
I
will keep quiet about my 1-2-1-2-4 theory.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Although I think it sounds more likely now.
I don't.
I don't. But they also mentioned that there was a bunch of high sprint that like went off and deserted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he like casually mentions that, like that he could have gone with the deserters, and I was like, the deserters? Excuse me, please tell me more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let's see what else. We finally get to see Seth realize that the voice isn't a maid, which Swiggity quote says is terrifying, which I agree considering we see a bunch of Spren nailed to a wall.
Yeah. So we also have that little bit earlier of Terravodium talking to the other herald. What was her name? The one who's all like prophet-centric.
The Hemel, just one.
No, the one who's all
just one.
Something with a D.
No, it starts with a B. Bataletta? Is that the one?
I don't know Stormlight Archive as well as I know Mistborn.
At any rate, we have a little bit of Odium talking to her, and she knows how to do the thing with the crystals and the spikes. And now we have an unmade that does that. So
I think the crystals are. We know crystals trap Spren, and that was learned roughly 1,300 years ago, right before the final distillation.
Well, and we know Ishar knows how to do it too. So, do we
Yes.
think that the heralds learned how to do it from the unmade, or vice versa?
I think the unmade learned how to do it from the humans. But I think the unmade are a lot more unholy with it.
Well, being Spren, they're not necessarily unholy. They're just less prone to human standards of morality, as with any other Spren.
Yeah. This is also Ishar,
Batar.
bringing.
Batar is the name.
Mhm. Oh,
Batar.
That doesn't.
That's the one who's
sound
working
right,
with
but okay.
Teravangian.
there was the line about if bringing a spren into the physical realm would make the pain more bearable,
Yeah.
which that is weird.
Yep. Oh, and
Um,
while we're in this whole like Kaladin, Zeth, Sil, Nail section, at first I was really, really against the whole Calfrena, Silladin ship
oh,
thing. But like she's all like laying on him and like snuggling up on him and stuff, and I'm like, I'm starting to think that maybe that's happening.
I don't think so. I think
I don't know. She's getting awfully like snuggly wuggly with
what
him.
I'm just wondering is how is Kaladin supposed to swear the fifth ideal? Because there's no way we're not getting any fifth ideals before the end of
Oh,
this
Well,
book.
we've
yeah,
already
I
gotten one.
definitely.
1,000% Shallan got her fifth ideal.
I don't think.
Yeah, she has said her fifth truth, or well, her fourth truth.
I think her fourth, maybe. I don't think fifth.
No.
Because
Her
fifth.
fourth truth because she swears an ideal and then four truths.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't think she's reached the fifth level of
Oh
power,
yeah.
though.
Oh yeah. For Shizo Ma Bizo. That's the whole point of what happens with her. We'll get to that when we get there, I guess.
We'll
But
get that.
I would
But
say
like,
so speaking of Kaladin, I definitely feel like he is about to swear his fifth ideal. I felt it when he was talking to Nail.
yeah.
It was in that moment that there was something that he was talking about, the way that he like was thinking, and I was like, oh, like yeah, we're about to get he's about to get there.
I can
5 books,
feel
five
like
ideals.
it's close, but I have no idea what it could be. Like,
I
the
know, that's
fourth
my
ideal
thing.
was like obvious. The
Right.
fourth ideal was fairly obvious. Fifth ideal, no idea.
Maybe it's going to be something about protecting yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like that was kind of tied to Tef's third ideal, right?
No, that's about not hating your, or that's a, yeah, I get, well, kind of. But
No, that
their
one's
third
about
ideals are all kind
protecting
of,
people that you hate.
yeah, even if
Even
he
if the
hates
person,
himself.
yeah, even if the person that you're hating is yourself,
So
you
there's
still
some
need to.
overlap there, because
I'm just.
it's just Kaladin doesn't necessarily hate himself. He just doesn't know to protect himself. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Maybe it's about recognizing he can't protect anymore, that he needs to lay down the sword. Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know.
Mm,
Because I don't feel like Kaladin's character arc is supposed to continue into the fighty, stabby stuff.
Yeah.
I think
I
he's supposed to settle down, start a therapy clinic, and just do that.
I
yes,
also
but how
like
often does he do what he's supposed to do?
I like that Seth has transitioned in Kaladin's mind from being annoying to being a person that he likes and that he wants to keep safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
That he
they've gotten
wants to help.
Seth has started to like slowly learn the things that Kaladin's been teaching him, and he's starting to like think about his decisions, which is very sweet.
I mean, apparently it only takes about a week for Kaladin to do that. Like,
About 7 days, exactly. Um, dang it. See, this is why I need to go chapter by chapter, because I have the notes by that. I don't have them by character.
well, why didn't you just make, 8 columns or 10 columns and take notes that way?
Because I like doing them chapter by chapter. Because that way, when we come back in however many long, we can exactly my thoughts as we do a chapter set.
Yeah, but that gets us into trouble. But anyway. So...
Okay, anything else? So, I'm trying to remember if there's anything else.
How many blades is Kaladin huffing around now?
Uh,
7?
7?
6 or 7?
So there are... Yes, it's 7 because there are
First one, second
two...
one, 2,
There are 2
4.
that are gone... What is going on?
What just happened?
I don't know. I didn't touch anything. I don't know what just happened. For those who are
For
not
our audio
watching,
listeners, balloons
for your
just
just
Yeah,
appeared
for audio
on Kay's
listeners.
screen.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what I did. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what caused that. What triggered that. That was very weird. But, okay. So,
Are you on your phone? Are you recording on your phone?
no, I'm on my computer. I got a new computer, but
I think he's at 7. Because we can work backwards. They still have one more to go.
So he's got Elsecaller, he's got Edge
Jezreel's Moash has. So Windrunner, Moash has. They got Elsecaller, Edge Dancer.
The one that Shallan is, because it's... My brain is going...
Give me a Lightweaver.
Lightweaver, there it is. Thank you.
Thank you. I was stuck on it. Dustbringer.
Did you say Edge Dancer?
I believe so.
Truth.
They've got all except for like Stoneward.
No, they got the Stoneward.
No, they got the Stoneward one. It's the other one.
They're missing Bondsmith, which
Bondsmith.
is the last one, the one that Ishar has. They're missing Jezreel's, which is the one that Moash has, and they're missing Nails, which is the one that Nail has.
Okay, so then they only have 6 because they're on their way to another monastery.
They're going to... What's the other one?
No.
Third, Bondsmith. What's the third one?
You must have some kind of a smart thing because you were holding up your thumb and then you just had a little bubble with the thumbs up come up. Yeah, that's it. You've got some kind of weird thing. That's crazy. I noticed that your camera is much nicer now.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, but what's the third one that's tied with like Stoneward, Bondsmith, and...
No, I don't think he
like
has...
a third one. It's that third one. What is the third one? I don't think he has
the Dustbringer one yet. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. It's not.
Are you talking about... Which third one are you talking about? Will Shaper.
That one. Yeah, I don't think they fought a Will Shaper yet. Right? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they've gone to the Will Shaper Monastery yet.
Yeah, I think that's next. Anything else? I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. You have Kaladin slowly like working his way up with Nail, and he seems to be making some headway.
Nail, would you like some soup? I bring you soup.
No, ration bar is good. Ration bar is fine. Excuse me. We have Seth's flashbacks in which we see like, oh, the voice has been killing off all the herald bearers that aren't under its control. Yep. So now we can very much see exactly kind of what happens and why he gets named Truthless and gets kicked out. We see that in which he's at the point we're at in the flashbacks. He's like preparing to go to war against all the other honor bearers. He just killed his sister,
and we find out that all of the people that he's been fighting are already dead.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think they're Midnight Essence? Do you think that what's her name is here?
Ooh, that the Midnight Mother, Ray Shafir.
Yeah, Ray Shafir, that's it.
That could be. Okay. Anything else for team therapy?
Nope.
Okay. Do first, Team Honor or Team Mishram?
Definitely Team Mishram, because Team Honor should be last.
Okay. So the theories were right.
Yeah, we
Shallan's
finally have
mother,
confirmation.
before we get into that, Renard and Relaine have the cutest scene together, and Shallan's just like super giddy and happy about it, just
I thought it
bouncing.
was so funny that Gliss was like, Shalon is doing something weird.
She's jumping up and down and clapping her hands.
She's making a really high-pitched noise. Like, what is going on? Is she okay?
Uh,
And then Renard's like, she's such a voyeur.
She's so
but it was so
voyeuristic.
cute.
That was so funny.
When like Relaine has to be like, well, I went into mate form and I was attracted to my guy friend and not a female friend, and it got super embarrassing, and nobody really wanted me around after that. And Renard's like, well, I want you around. Place his hand on top of hand.
Yeah.
It was just so cute.
Mm.
Okay, but Shallan finally faces her memories, and we learn that her mom is Shalabala,
Chanarach.
Shanarach, the Herald, who I found it ironic that the Dustbringer Herald is what causes Roshar to burn. Find that very ironic. But also, I think I threw out a theory last time that Formless was like some embodiment of her mother. I think Formless is her mother's herald powers. Like some aspect of that. Because the mom seems. Because Shalalarat,
Chanarach.
says like I gave them to her. I am mortal now, which she isn't.
I love watching your mind make these just like quantum leaps of just like what is happening.
So like, okay, so she says like I am mortal now. She's on a phone. She's on a cell call. Which, by the way, why did they have a seance? She's on a cell call with Ishar, and she's like, "Hey, I was able to impart my herald abilities to my daughter. I am no longer this." And he's like, "No, that cannot exist. She's bonding with a friend. You need to kill her." In which she pauses when she's about to, doesn't want to, which was very cute. But like, I'm wondering if
You have a weird
because
sense of cute.
she pauses and it's like, oh, she doesn't. She cares on some level as she holds a knife over her daughter.
That's not cute. That's like barely humanizing.
It's well, I'm applying this to somebody who's centuries old and insane. So for that moment of sanity, that's cute. But like, we know she imparts something onto Shallan, and we know it's not her immortality because she dies, comes back. So I'm wondering if like her Dustbringer herald powers are in Formless.
No, her Dustbringer herald powers are connected to her shard blade.
Right.
But what
The
got
powers come
imparted
from
to Shallan?
nothing.
Nothing.
It was a crazy ass delusion of Channa's.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think Shallan's gonna roll. He's gonna have 4 ability. Okay, so this is me having weird theories. Formless is weird, and I'm trying to understand Formless, and I think it's tied to her mom being a herald. I may not have the specifics right yet, but I think it's there.
If it is, it's only because her mom being a herald who's crazy and violent and has strange tendencies left a undesirable but much noticeable effect on a young impressionable child.
So, Shallan's ability to see fortune,
My camera
I
just
could
died.
guess, is probably
Hello?
from her mother.
Hello.
Okay, so what I was about to say, which so Reader's theory is that, so welcome, Dragon.
Welcome, Dragon.
So Reader's theory is that, I don't know, Reader, do you wanna tell your theory again?
Reader,
So my theory is that
tell me theory.
my theory is Formless is not just Shallan. I think Formless is some kind of bestowment of just her mom's herald abilities, or some weird investiture superpowers that have been blessed her through genetics. Be it her mom's herald abilities of being a Dustbringer or something else. I think Formless is tied to her mom being a herald.
Mm.
And I think
Okay.
Kay had something about connection.
So I
Why
was
does
gonna
everyone hate
say,
this? Yeah. What's Kate's thought on this?
so first of all, Raider was saying that he feels like Shallan is gonna have Dustbringer abilities because her mom is Chanarach and was the Dustbringer Herald, which I immediately said was no, because her powers are not connected to the fact that she is a herald. It's connected to her shard blade,
Do we
her
know
Honor
that
blade.
heralds?
her honor blade.
Yes, they got their.
The powers are given through the honor blades. Yes.
Do we know that heralds cannot use their abilities without their honor blade, though?
Yes.
I don't think.
I would say the main insight we
I
get
know
from
that
this
anybody
is
can pick up an honor blade and use those abilities, but
is Ash's reaction when she thinks that they're all doomed. When I think that like the most direct information we're gonna get is when Ash sees Taln leap into action, and she's like, without any weapons and without any powers, Taln was still the like fiercest fire, like the
deadliest thing on Roshar.
The deadliest thing on Roshar, and he has no weapon and no honor blade and no surges. So and she doesn't say and no surge. She says no weapons and no honor blade. And then we don't see any evidence of him using like the resulting.
okay, but that's also very much insane Taln.
Okay, but here's the point. If he had it, he would have used them, and so if Chanarach does not have it, then she would be able to use it. So the point is the actual surges are tied to the honor blades. However, we don't know what was or wasn't passed on by Chanarach.
So
so we can't rule that out, but I have a bunch of other theories. Hey,
I would say, so I was trying to figure out where Reader was pulling this from, and it's because Chana says Shallan has powers, but the Radiants are dead and gone. This means that I've found what I'm searching for, an heir. The bond has passed from me to her. She is eternal now, and I am mortal. That is her just going, like, that is her in her head, trying to make up a reason for why Shallan has powers.
She's pulling
because
her
she thinks
I can
she's
see that
pulling that out. Not she's trying to say that she has powers because I've passed my bonds on to her, not because she's bonded a Spren. Because she's trying
she doesn't want to acknowledge that Shallan's a Radiant and doesn't want to kill her. However, she also. So my only reader on this piece, Chana goes back and says, "I thought you would replace me."
But I'm just like,
as in past tense. That's current Chana saying, "I thought you would." Now past tense, not "I think you will." So Chana then thought Shallan was replacing her. Chana now says, "No, you're not."
So
and even
after
she then says, "I thought you would replace me, and even if you did get something, blah blah blah," like basically, it's not happening. So the ultimate thing is Chana doesn't believe it, but we don't ultimately know.
My thing is like Formless is weird, and I'm trying to understand what Formless's purpose is, and I think it's tied to
Formless is weird. You are right. Yes.
Yeah. And
so
I was gonna say,
I personally don't believe so, but is there still a room and a possibility for that? Yes. Because we see other cognitive shadows have children. Or not have children. No. Technically, none of them have. Yes, they do have children.
So,
but
yes.
Returns
have children, and they do pass on ability. So actually, we have a precedent for cognitive shadows passing on some form of innate investiture into their children. So,
which is what I was going to say. Yes, which I think is her connection and her ability to manipulate fortune and see slightly into the spiritual realm with her art abilities.
And also potentially
I think that comes from her double bond.
But
possibly.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love that Testament speaks into her head, and now Shallan's got I can
But the
speak to
thing
her.
the thing
The
about
problem
that,
is we don't
John,
have a double bond and a herald child. We have them both, so we don't know what to attribute to what.
I
Fair.
think that part of Shalon's, because Shalon's ability to be able to take a snapshot of like her photographic memory, like the way that she does it, is something that she had prior to having two bonds.
It's got to be
I
the
don't know
peace
how to
sign.
keep
It's got to be the
happening.
peace sign. It's got to be when you hold up the peace
No,
sign.
you are right. You are right. She
So-
did have that before she bonded.
so-
Pattern.
That's what leads me to think that it is
Whatever software's on
something-
her computer that's doing that, you don't have Reader, or we would have seen something by now.
Okay, do a peace sign. real
Kay's
quick.
up over there doing the gang signs.
Okay, do a peace sign.
There it is.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so peace is
Um,
balloons.
Pieces
Poor
balloons,
audio
thumbs
listeners.
up is thumb up. Is the thumbs up bubble.
Is there a thumbs
Um,
down? Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Is there a middle finger?
I was just gonna say the same thing. Was there?
So let's get back on track. Let's get back on track. So,
Okay.
So, Kay, I have some thoughts against what you're saying. She could take mental snapshots, but none of her mental snapshots were potential predictions of the future until after she bonded.
Yeah,
Pattern.
that's true.
They were visions into Shademar, but they weren't ever.
It was edict
It
memory
was never
more
implied
than
that they were of the future until she was
Bluth.
on. Until Bluth.
but also she didn't ever try to draw what
That is
she
correct. So
thought
the point
people
is
could be.
we don't know.
before.
So it could be, but also they say the drawing and the seeing into Shazamar could be the fact that she's technically still bonded to her own spren. Well, broken bond, but still has the spren, still has the blade, not fully broken, mostly broken kind of thing. And
yeah.
so she still could potentially have that as a leftover because they all have some sort of weird ability to draw, but she seems see into Shademar, but she does that through her powers. The problem is Shalon's just a little too much of everything to ever give us a clear answer.
We'll just have to wait for the role-playing books.
Yes.
Okay. But then there's the line of, oh, she was at your wedding day. In which Shalon's like, I remember that. So then we jump to, and I have specifically chapter 97, which has been my favorite of the book so far. Because, if you did not know, this is the World Hopper Ball event that was at Dragonsteel Nexus 2024.
Yeah.
Literally, me and Kay were at in these things, which was so funny because there was a line like, they were like characters in a play. Yes. Literally. It was so much fun.
Did you guys see Shanna get thrown out by Wit?
Yes.
She bumped into me.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
And so, like, this whole chapter, I'm geeking out because, like, I'm in this chapter. I'm in the story. It's so much fun. But
Non-canon version of the story, sorry.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm there. But then you have the realization when Shalon, because due to spiritual realm weirdness, it's not a memory of what a conversation would have been. Because Shalon runs off and goes, grabs her, and I forgive you, basically. And then she realizes, oh, this is you live right now. This is not a memory. This is Mom right now. She's on Braze, hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Because spiritual mumbo jumbo. And so the Shalalala is like getting very sad about it. And she's like, oh, thank you. I'm going to go hide underneath a rock because like things are looking for me. I think maybe Taln and Ash are here as well now. Taln is kicking butt.
He specifically says, like, I'm going to go look for Taln and Ash. Only trust Taln out of all of us, is what she says. But she's like, oh yeah, the spirits, the spirits or souls of the fused are here. So, which is like insane because that means she's there. She's like, I'm gonna go fight again. Be strong.
So the debate that we were starting before and didn't quite fully realize is
I don't know.
the acknowledgement that Shallan's mother is a herald, and that in some way it is Shallan's fault that this whole desolation has started.
Oh yeah,
Her fifth
I've got that in my
truth.
note.
Her fourth truth.
I don't think that's her fifth.
You don't think?
I don't think that's her fifth ideal. I don't think that's her fifth ideal. I think Shallan's gonna blame herself for the fact Roshar is burning.
Yes,
But I don't think any of our characters have reached the fifth ideal, except for Nail.
But the
Nobody
thing
has
is,
reached.
because Shallan's in the spiritual realm and all the powers are a little.
She's always been the fifth ideal.
I mean,
Like, I think
Right now,
that's got to be what happens on,
like,
like, we got to see on day 10 everybody reaching their fifth ideal. We got to see Yasna, we got to see Kaladin, we got to see Shallan, we got to see
so what does it mean?
Stigzil
then?
lose his friend.
They're not all gonna hit fifth.
No,
day 10.
certainly
I
not.
don't
Especially
think
not
so.
Yasna.
I don't think so.
I think Yasna will.
No, I don't think she
I
will.
got
her,
it.
her book is book 10.
I know, but I want to know what my oaths are.
Yeah,
I
when
wanna
she's
know
back,
my
wait for
oaths
the.
are.
Just like you told me, wait for the role playing game.
Yeah.
I know. I can't wait that long. It's right here.
So what do we think it might mean then to
Can't wait for
be
you.
a light weaver of the fifth ideal as compared to the fourth? Because what else is there now? She can already like make her
Well, that's
stuff
the thing.
solid. Like
It's not like they gain new abilities, except for the armor
no, they
and like the
they just
weapon.
become more efficient with them, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything just becomes highly more efficient. At least from what we know, we haven't seen anyone besides Nell, but they know the ability progression, right? We've known this. People could they have records from the old Radiance, and it's blade at 3, armor at 4. I mean, maybe something does crazy happen at 5, but as far as we've seen in them talk about, no one's ever talked about anything extra.
But there's got to be something,
Maybe it's
because
either
otherwise,
no
why
one
would there
either-
even
no one
be
ever
a
hit
fifth?
ideal, or it's just because fifth ideal is basically like 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, just like
The only
no
thing we
extra
know
anything,
about
it's
the
just
fifth
better.
ideal, the only thing we know about the fifth ideal really is that when Nail explained it to Seth, and he's like, "You become the law," whatever the heck that means.
Right, that's already kind of just a statement of crazy.
Uh-huh. But I think this has to be my favorite part of the book so far. In terms of, this theory has been around possibly since book 1, that her mom was a herald, and that finally
Been
we're
around
getting to
for a
see it.
while. I feel like every
Shallan.
book adds to it.
Definitely
Yeah.
book 2.
Yeah, I think it's really book 2 is where it sort of started
Book 2,
surfacing.
because that's where we got
That's her
backstory.
flashbacks, yeah.
Yeah. This has been a theory long in the making, and I think one of the failures of Star Wars, the sequels, is like they made the first one, and then, oh, we got all these theories about what's. Well, we don't want them to be right, so we're gonna make something that nobody guessed. I like that Brandon has had a set. Here's what it is. I don't care if people figure it out. It still is going to be that.
In fact, I think he likes it when people figure it out beforehand. Like,
He provides foreshadowing. He specifically provides for clever people to be able to figure out things.
I mean, there
Like-
was a WoB before even we knew about Terraform's, IQ switch. Somebody had asked him, "Hey, there's this line about Varangian being smart some days. Does his brain sometimes become smart and other days become dumb?" Before we had even gotten that information. It is possible to guess this stuff based on what he gives us.
Well, whatever we find out in day 9 and 10, day 10, we technically know the end of the book. He specifically said, you know what will happen, or at least you know like some of the result of it, based on death rattles from book 1,
okay.
like
Speaking,
from earlier books.
Mhm.
And he said this at like launch when there's only 2 or 3 books. So it's like technically that's why we have so many speculations. Like,
Well, this
put
is-
it out there. So we can
Brandon
make
also said,
speculations.
"You know what the gem You know what the purple, the purple, oh shoot,
Sphere.
sphere is? Yeah, you know what the purple sphere is? And then come book 4, oh, anti-void light. Nobody had ever knew that, Brandon.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Anything
it's
else?
there. He gives us the hint, but we might not know it.
There was no hint for anti-void light, man. Anything else for Shallan? Then we're going into the big revelation, which is Team Honor.
Oh, actually, before we go
Never
into
mind.
Team Honor, sorry, I'm just double checking my notes.
No problem.
Checking my notes. Excuse me.
I think Kay's looking up something to prove me wrong.
No.
She's knitting.
Kill Shallan. And I saw someone ask this question, so I'm just going to bring it up in case there's other listeners that are wondering this. Nail tells Chana to kill Shallan. Nail wants all Radiant dead.
Because this is before we
Chana
met left.
fails to kill Shallan. I have my own thoughts. Why does Nail not then? Because he says, if you don't do it, I'll come do it myself. So why is Shallan alive?
I think so. I think he just assumed she did it. I mean, she killed and then ran away.
She also killed one of his Skybreakers. Like, you think that guy doesn't report in and he doesn't go, gee, I wonder what happened. Oh, well, I guess we'll never know. Like,
well, I would imagine, like, he can see in his mind the fact, like, oh, she killed her thing and just ran off. She killed her thing. She killed her daughter, and in anger and in madness, she killed the other person, and now she's just...
But again, there's also that other Skybreaker that was there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He died.
He also gets her oldest brother as a Skybreaker, so he literally has direct information and access. So he would know Shallan's alive.
Maybe it's
without
that
a doubt.
He found out that she broke her oath.
Also not.
That's my thought.
That's my thought.
That would make sense.
He doesn't care to kill her because she killed her Spren, and so he's like, Spren's dead, bond's broken.
I would also like to point out that one of Shallan's brothers is only a half-brother at best. Because Channa mentions that one of the children is her father's bastard.
She does?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Pull up that line. Because now I'm curious.
I don't have the... I don't even know what chapter it was in.
It would have been in chapter 93, because that's her memory thing.
That's her memory. So if that's the case, it's...
I'm thinking it's gotta be Helleran.
Would it then be Helleran? Because...
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be Helleran.
He had a kid before he got together with Channa.
Sure.
Possibly, probably, because the term bastard just means born out of wedlock. So I guess it could be Channa's kid before they got married. But then why would she refer to him as your father's bastard instead of my son? You know?
She's insane.
So one of them, so it's not going to be the twins because it's one.
Right.
And the twins are right above Shallan. So you have Shallan, then you have twins.
So it's either got to be Balat or Helleran.
Balat or Helleran.
And given how Balat acts a lot more like Shallan and the twins, it's got to be Helleran.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Team
Why
Honor.
the dad hated him so much, possibly.
Okay, Team Honor. So, do we want to come back to the big reveal and do the stuff afterward first, or do this chronologically? Because I just want to acknowledge
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Because I want to. Okay, because
I just say go chronologically. That's how I my notes.
So we learn what oath Honor broke. We see what happened at Feverstone, and that the one Windrunner was in relations.
We're gonna just jump to Feverstone. I've got a bunch of other things that have.
Navani learns how to. Navani learns how to help him with bondsmithing.
I think it's a really important understanding that they can create connection based on their perception of investiture.
On the
Creating
fly.
connection where there wasn't one. Understanding the ways of gods is the primary purpose of science. Perception changes investiture. They are creating connection inside of the tower simply based on just like
Intent.
we're both
Hey, she's a
wrong.
woman. She's a woman with children. I'm a woman with children.
Intent.
The point-
It's all about intent.
Intent and perception changes investiture, is what she said, and then they're literally creating connection. But the point is, they're doing this in the spiritual realm, right? Which is going to be very like, and they're bondsmith, but they're not creating the connection because they're bondsmith. They're playing on the connection because they're bondsmith.
I don't think
But the point is,
I think Dalinar might be a bit. I don't think they're creating a connection. I think just the connection is like super, super tiny. But just when he realizes that there is one, he can see it better.
when he thinks about it, it essentially creates one. If there's not, then it's everyone's connected to everything in that sense, but it's basically invisible. But now, the point is that there are other ways to manipulate connection in the Cosmere, specifically Farukami, but there's going to be other things, and I'm like, we're going to see this, I think, in era more in days 9 and 10, and also in era 2 of Stormlight. But this is, in my opinion, a huge, like, things we've thought about and talked about, but it's like a huge confirmation, like, for investiture and those that are just absolute nerds about the rules of magic, like I am, to understand that if you can simply just think that, like, make enough connections mentally, you can create a connection, and then you can play off that connection between you and someone else. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I know readers shrugging, but
it's stuff I'm trying to focus on like huge things like we can talk about without like going into details over tiny things.
It is really cool.
It is really cool, but like, okay, it happens. We can't delve deep into it because we can't really go much deeper.
Yeah, but the problem of connection is literally the problem of the Cosmere. You think about it, that's what's keeping Thydakar stuck to Scadrial, right? His connection to that world. So the connection thing is like, it is the biggest problem in the Cosmere.
So, and that makes me wonder, are there ways to not think or erase memories or affect your knowledge of something to remove your connection from it?
I don't think
know that you can use breaths to erase memories. Can you then erase thoughts or memories or store them and break or weaken connection to the point that you can then Thydakar could then potentially leave or manipulate other things?
I don't think it's a matter of erasing connection. I think it's just a matter of forming new connections. Because if you're connected to nothing, you're nothing. Especially in like Cosmere. If you have no connections...
We're not talking about breaking all connections. We're talking about breaking specific ones in this case, in this example.
Enough that it'll loosen or extend his Thydakar's leash. And I think this is going to be applicable to Spren. This could be applicable with, like, we see Aido Mishram, we can get to in a second. But, like, anyway, we can move on. But I at least want to put it out there for those you know,
it was cool, and I remember making a note that like, oh, we have to remember perception, capital P now. Oh.
Yeah. Perception. Anyway, I will let you move on to Fever Stone and parlaying with the fused and stuff.
No, well, I went back into my notes and I've tried to find the ones that are of this stuff. So we see, like, Navani is able to confirm with the sibling now that she's in Eritharu. Like, hey, Tower Light still works. That's good. But we see sort of what the the Radiants were like right before the end, and that the Skybreakers and everybody else were having a lot of issues. And that the Skybreakers basically all leave saying, we're going to uphold the actual law. You guys are going to do whatever you do.
This actually reminds me of something that we get with Therapy Kaladin and Zath. 12124 mentions something about, where is my note on it? I can't find my note on it.
Wait a second. I'm gonna try something. What's
He
1
mentioned
2 1 2?
something about others or
the deserters. We talked about that.
Deserters, thank you. So are these the deserters, the ones that were at Eurytheria that then left? Are they like, anyway, that I'm just like, I saw this connection, I was like, who are these deserters? Were the deserters ones who, because Nail never, right? The whole point is Nail's always had his Skybreakers. Does that mean he was there the entire time and the Skybreakers were his, or are these the deserters? What's the fate?
I took that as being the deserters were Highspren who... What's happening, reader?
My theory is correct. Okay, I'll let you guys finish. Did a thing.
Oh boy.
Of our days. Be careful of what you look up on Coppermind. But continue.
No, it's not on Coppermind. You guys...
So when I read it, I assumed that it was a group of Highspren that deserted their bonding duties and decided either not to bond Radiance or whatever. Like, I assumed he was referring to other Highspren.
It is other Highspren, but at the same time, all other Highspren currently have been under Nail and have been under Nail since the Herald abandoned their honor blades. Like, it says, like, we are the only ones that never gave up, right? And so since there's always been a continuation, so at some point Nail kind of takes them off. So the question is this the point where Nail takes the Skybreakers and just like cultivates them under himself? Has that been happening this entire time, or are they the deserters themselves, both Highspren and Radiance themselves? They also like to talk about that is Highspren take the oath and they can break their bond without there being
without becoming a Deadeye.
Without becoming a Deadeye. They're the only ones that don't Deadeye because of the way that they form their bond.
I kind of took it from him saying the deserters that it was a modern of Highspren that decided that they didn't want to form Radiant Bronze. That's kind of how I took it as. Not as a...
Which could be. But my question is then, are those deserters means that at one point they were part of and then they then left? So that means these were Highspren that then used to have bonds, that then left and no longer have bonds. So they're ex-Radiance friends.
Okay, Reader is very excited.
That's my thought. So we'll let Reader now.
Dragon, can you tell me what the first letter of the alphabet is?
A.
John, can you tell me what the 21st is?
Not without saying the whole alphabet.
It's gonna be a U.
And the 24th is an X. 1, 21, 24.
I hate you.
I was so right.
I hate you.
Don't have confirmation yet.
Come on!
It could easily...
You have one more point in your favor.
That's
mean that it's true.
I got solid evidence now.
That is incredibly compelling evidence. It
is.
No! Icky!
It's not confirmed yet. But yes, it is more compelling evidence.
Icky.
Potentially. Except for wait. What does that make Nail's friend, which is 121? Just AU?
Yeah, AU.
Or ABA.
Or ABA is
ABBA.
Which is father.
Okay, but come on. You gotta give me that. Because you guys got me thinking about cryptography and what we did.
A name, which it's just numbers. Come on, stop being racist, dude.
But like I was thinking cryptography, shift ciphers, and how each alphabet corresponds with a letter, and I'm like, wait, 1, 21, A, U, X.
Well, I guess you heard it here, folks. Shit.
And you got to see it live as
It's gonna be
spit it out.
impossible to live with.
Wow.
I
We'll
will
see
say
at
I
the
was
end
the
of day
first.
10 if you're right, but
I mean,
it does sound relatively convincing.
I'm gonna be calling my brother after this.
If that is the case, I want to know what are the implications of the other friend names, or did he just do it just to try to be like hide a thingy in there, and there's no other reference in any other name? But they
I don't
specifically
know.
say the name 121. So is that Abba as in like father? As
But
like
that's-
it's like he's like the father of the heist friend, and he
I
joins
can see
Dale?
that.
I think.
Like,
Well,
I could see that.
I think that Abba is spelled with 2 B's though.
True.
Possibly. I don't know. I'm just super pumped that I figured that out.
AU is okay. So if it's AU,
Gold.
it's gold, which is an
That
auger,
would be cool.
right? That's an auger for. It's also healing.
I just
for
crafted the
ferochemy.
whole heist friend code.
Now I want to know if we ever learn any more heist friend names.
We
Or
need
is it
more.
12? Is it 12-1? What's 12?
L.
L-A?
La.
Los Angeles.
Los
This is my
Angeles.
friend, Los Angeles.
I feel like if he's going to include it on one, he would include it on every numbered name, and he's only given us 2 numbers, which is 121 and 12124. So
I'm
feel
gonna be
there's-
unbearable. I apologize.
Yes, you will be unbearable, but now I'm not going to stop thinking about what Nail's spread is. Okay.
Do we pause recording?
Does anyone else have anything they're inside of your ethereal?
Okay, pause recording. Kay, do you want to leave right now?
Yeah, I'm not feeling great. I have a headache and my stomach's not feeling great, so I'm gonna
Oh,
bail.
okay.
Sorry, guys.
She's already sick
worries.
of my gloating.
All
Okay,
right, we'll feel
We're
better.
probably
Kay.
feel better.
You'll
I'm
be
sorry.
missed. Feel
Sorry,
better.
everybody's not feeling the greatest this week. Bye.
Bye.
I would say it's something in the air or in the water, but my kids are sick too, and we're like half a country away.
Yeah.
I got
So-
sick New Year's Eve. I got sick as well, and then my dad has been sick ever since. So like,
It's that
I don't
new
know what's going on.
that new virus that's going around.
yeah. Okay, so we'll just come back and we'll just finish up the honor stuff.
Well, this whole thing is still recording. It's going to be up to Swiggity to cut that out.
Yeah. So 3, 2, 1.
Look at what you did. You made Kay
And we're
so
back.
sick she
Okay.
had to leave.
I'm sorry that me right causes pain in others. This was a theory I've had for over a year. I called it with nothing. Nothing. But welcome back, everybody. Kay had to take a step out because she wasn't feeling that well. We're going to continue on to Dalinar seeing Honor, break his word. Because we see the Windrunner has relations with a singer. And he has brought a whole bunch of people, and they're like, oh, we make peace. And then douchebag McBondsmith shows up.
Malishi?
Yeah, Malishi
Yeah,
shows up
Malishi.
with honor, and they're like, nah, we've come to betray our word. And suck up by Nomishram into the brimstone, and then he dips in the spiritual realm. I think he's still alive, and he's guarding it, or something. He's going to be there when they find her.
Possible. Okay, so here's the thing. Honor's not the way. Technically, Honor did Honor make the oath that he wouldn't hurt? Because Malishi
I
wasn't
think-
part of that. It was the sorry, brain glitch.
I think that the
What's his face?
Radiant.
In Love Dude. Radiant Man. Windrunner.
Doshal?
Anyway,
I don't remember his name.
him. Windrunner.
Windrunner.
Leader. Right? Mr.
Honor
Lovey
guy.
Pants.
The good guy.
He made the oath that they wouldn't be hurt. So is every oath then Honor's oath? If this is Honor's breaking his oath, or did Honor make a different oath that we didn't see? Because he's like, we promised, like we made an oath that she wouldn't be hurt, and he is upset saying that Honor broke the oath. But the thing is, he never spoke to Honor. Only Militia ever spoke to Honor, and they didn't know Militia was going to be there, and so they're like, oh.
Well, I imagine like there was a ceasefire because a negotiation. There was like an agreement to stop fighting.
Right, you're right. There is some sort of ceasefire. And okay, you're right.
Yeah, there was also the oath that they were going to deal in good faith. Which...
And also, I could also see it like a Windrunner is speaking on behalf of Honor, or maybe Honor is tied to all the oaths. And like, this is a drastic one to break.
Right. It's just like it's like, yes, he breaks it, but it's like not his oath and Militia's oath that they wouldn't. But I mean, I guess at the same time, he did say like they are in parley, which means all aggression should be ceased until they release the ceasefire and the parley.
Yeah. So that happens, in which now we see why the Shard of Honor. Actually, I don't really understand why the Shard of Honor won't accept anybody. Is it treating it kind of like, in biblical terms, original sin, in that all mankind are tied to this?
I don't think we know yet.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's probably we don't quite know yet, but it does seem that honor breaking an oath, and then the power.
Maybe it applies to the side, and that your side broke the oath.
It seems kind of arbitrary.
I'm thinking it more like Timber, like how Timber's species, like, we will not bond with them again. We will bond with the singer.
I get what you're saying.
Kind of like that.
But given the whole idea that Kaladin and Syl have struggled with they're all people. They're just people. It's us and them because we say it's us and them, but we're all the same. Like that muddies the whole thing a lot. To my way of thinking anyway, because, especially Syl being, as we were discussing before, an Honor's friend, like, it's not clear yet. It's just not clear yet what's going to happen.
Yeah. Right. And then the Stormfather appears, and he has been we see now that he is of the form of Honor, because he was made in God's image. And he's like, no, I did not want you to see this. I'm leaving. Odium can see you now.
Yeah, what a dick move.
Seriously. He's like,
I have not liked Stormfather at all this book, really.
Yeah, no, he's been a huge bitch this whole time.
Seriously, he's whining because he doesn't want people to see his pain. But at the same time, he hasn't had the development that Dalinar has, that we see when Dalinar saw the life of a god, is like the last line in day 8, right? He's literally sitting there like, I am ashamed of what has happened. So he's some sort of fragment of honor. So he's probably feeling the shame of breaking oaths, right? He's feeling the shame of having seen all this, having experienced. He literally was there for everything. He existed because he existed well before he was born, according to what he said before. Like, he's been there, and he's now some sort of created echo, right? They use the word echo of a god, right? So he's like, in a sense, he's like the cognitive shadow of Honor / Tanavas.
Yeah. Specifically,
I think maybe it has to do with like he
experienced all of this. So he has like this great cognitive dissonance around like, but he also hasn't developed beyond like this childish, just like, I don't honor, just do what I need to do because I'm just honor. But I've also broken all my oaths and all my promises. I've broken these oaths and promises because Tanavas broke his oaths and promises. Or if he didn't break them, he feels the pain of it, and he's just like, I'm gross. Please go away. Because he's just not like mentally. It's like the Stormfather isn't as mentally developed as like Dalinar in a sense. Because Dalinar then goes and is like, I can't take your pain, but I can help you carry it. Because he's just sitting there like crying in a corner. So I haven't particularly liked the portrayal, but I can see if he's been around but hasn't grown.
I think that's
thousands of years.
I think that's what it has been. Is this book seems to have like stunted the Stormfather to me out of all the character growth he's gotten with Dalinar. But I suppose the fact like he's now at the point where he's like, no, understand why that was wrong, and I feel so ashamed, and I'm trying to disassociate myself from that. That's why I don't want you looking at my browser. So he's doing
Right.
everything he can to push that away.
Right.
So that actually makes more sense.
The point is he still has, right, if essentially a back half to develop. He's getting pushed his development into the back half. Like we're seeing basically like how Shallan dissociates and which is different than disassociate. But he's like Shallan dissociates and like does all these things and like cries and doesn't want to see her past. That's basically what the Stormfather is going through now. He's being forced to confront, but he's being forced, whereas Shallan chooses or is kind of coerced by her friend. Dalinar is literally just breaking these memories out no matter what. And so now he's basically going through what Shallan's gone through in 5 books, all inside of less than 10 days. Everything that people have had years to develop coping mechanisms and ways to get over it and people to support them, and Dalinar's not there to support him until now, right? So I think there's this huge like development piece that's now going to be happening as he finally has someone to listen and support, because now that the truth is out there.
Maybe he will become a sword for him at the end.
Would the Stormfather make a Spren bond with Cryptic? Because he's got a lot of secrets.
I don't think a Spren can bond a Spren.
I mean,
oh gosh, I'm not certain on that.
Fusion! Ha!
Oh boy, that's a terrifying thought.
Spren can take a shard.
A sword attached to a sword. It's just half glued through it.
Sword chucks.
Yeah. Okay, so
Anyway.
Odium shows up and he just disperses everybody, in which, strangely, Gavilar keeps being shown like how bad of a father, how bad of a uncle slash grandfather slash family member Dalinar was.
Yeah, right. That's not by design or anything.
No, I'm sure that won't have
there's nothing that's gonna indicate that there's something wrong, and there's definitely not theories of people making. Anyway, we'll continue.
The child. Okay, but so we see, first of all, we see him the night Gavilar died, in which he faces his drunkard self, in which he just beats the crap out of him, without like even touching him. Really, he slaps him a couple of times, but everything dodging blows.
And the fact that you say that is actually kind of amusing, because we go from old Dalinar being like the old master who's like deflecting the sword with 2 fingers and like, minimal movement, to old Dalinar getting his butt kicked by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me of that scene from Liar Liar. I'm kicking my ass!
But like, I don't think anything really big happens in that one. We jump to, he's now with Evie at that day, in which I called we would see Evie in this. And we see, like, he does not want them to be fire. And so he goes up and, like, basically tells himself to shut up. Hey, my people, help the people. Like, see what he should have been.
Right, which I find is an interesting, like...
Why is Odium showing him these things that seem to be showcasing?
It's obviously to torment Gav and Dalinar at the same time.
Right.
I don't think
he's
it's
doing
just
this
for
double,
Gav.
like, Gav and Dalinar. But here's the thing. So, I mean, people have had the theory about Gav being Odium's champion for years now. And I feel like the more days we see, the more it's like this seems to be like it's going somewhere, right? Like, I don't, we can't say for certain, but like he's now seeing how Dalinar is like literally just breaks everything that he sees, and he's seeing, and he specifically takes him away before Dalinar can ever explain to Gav why he did what he did. So now he just sees the bad, and here's no good.
Because then he takes him to him beating up his dad, his hero.
Right.
And you see
who he's been hearing a voice of this entire time.
Yeah, that's very suspicious too.
Obviously, Terravodium's voice.
Absolutely. But then, in the most satisfying moment, Sadius shows up, and Dalinar just punches him through his face.
Ooh.
And gosh, that felt lethargic. He's even like, gosh, that felt good.
Yeah, that probably felt so cathartic for him. So something happened right before then. He grabs the Blackthorn himself, and he's like, basically does what Wit does with Shallan, is like, here's two forms of you. I'm going to give, like, the exact same memories and experiences to two different versions of you. One buckles and breaks, and one stands strong. Now there's two forms of Dalinar, but they're in the spiritual realm, and he gives all of his memories and experiences, and he literally says something like he basically pushes himself into it, connects and gives him all of his, like, this is what you could be, this is what's going to happen kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed weird that, like, we see, like, Wit do that, but he does it in the physical world when he does this in the spiritual world. But then it's just like nothing happened. It's just like.
Speaking of Wit, we see Wit's response to his Dear John letter in the epigraphs of day 7 or day 8. I found that utterly hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Originally, I thought it was his letter to ambition or endowment, because we saw her letter. But as I go on reading, I'm like, no, this is Yasna.
I never even put that. I haven't been paying much attention to the epigraphs, but I did, in fact, wonder who the hell he was talking to. So, yeah,
It's his response to his breakup letter. And, like, the fact that he's so forward about it and he talks about things.
I'll have to go back and reread those now.
It's very good. But, like, I want stuff on the other. I want another letter from Sazed and something that lists off the 16th shard. I want that 16th shard.
Right.
But back to the Team Honor.
Days, man.
Yep, 2 more days. After he punches Sadius in the face, Terravodium reveals himself, and he's like, "Oh shoot! No, wait, that happened before. You're Terravangian. We're so screwed." I think that's how day 7 ends. But now at the end of day 8,
No. That's inside of day 8.
It is?
I just listened to day 8.
Okay.
2 hours in the 2 hours leading up to this.
Okay. That was such a good line.
Took me 69 minutes to listen to all of day 8 at 3.5 times speed. But
he's like, we're so screwed. And but now we have him. He's going to the Stormfather.
The end of day 8 when he does that.
And he's at the Stormfather. He's like, "Hey, you are suffering. Let me carry the burden with you." And the Stormfather, like, "Okay, fine. You will see our shame." And I'm assuming we're going to see the shattering of the planes and what happened with all that. That's what I think we're going to see.
When he says he saw the life of a god.
I think that's most metaphorical of, like, we're seeing not the full thing, but, like, specifically what he's shown to see. But from the viewpoint of...
It's just the question of, we'll obviously find out in day 9, but is how far back do the memories of the Echo of Honor go? And so, which will kind of play into, like, how much of this, like, what kind of, like, emotional mental trauma has been transferred into the Stormfather by this, like, you know, weird, like, cognitive shadow thing of a god happening into a Spren, like, whatever that is, and what kind of mental trauma that we're gonna see is however back these memories go is, like, because we're now seeing the Stormfather's memories, so we're gonna see basically when the Stormfather was created. I
think we're gonna see just the event of Honor's death. I think that's whatever specific events are tied to that. I think that's all we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning, slowly go to that point.
Well, the question is where did the Stormfather start, and where did this emotional trauma start? We're gonna start at whatever the emotional trauma is. The question is,
Honor breaking his promise.
Well, we see Honor breaking his promise at the Oath Pact, but I think, or at the tower, but I think there's something like
with the crystal when they kidnapped by Mishram.
Of that, is that all we're getting? I feel like we're gonna. I don't know.
Whatever event is right after that, that's what we're gonna get.
That's what you think. That's what we're gonna get. Is just whatever's right after the tower.
Whatever's right after that.
Or the by the Mishram.
We also need to see Honor's death, because the whole point of going in there was for Dalinar to recover the power, so he needs to know where it is to go get it. So he needs to see the death.
From that point to Honor's death, that's what we're going to see. Which I'm willing to bet we're going to have the reason why Honor died. And then that'll be day 9. And then day 10 is like actual focus on like, doing the stuff. This has all been set up.
It's been a crazy setup.
Yes.
It's been a crazy 9-day or 8-day setup so far. But I don't know.
And
I think this has been an incredible journey. I've been seeing a lot of negativity online about the book, and it's still being a good book, just not as good as the other books. I have been loving. But again, I have learned through rereading. Technically, my first rereads of Way of Kings, honestly, my first read of Way of Kings and Words of Radiance was not that these were like the most, especially Way of Kings, was not like this was like the most wonderful, riveting book in the world. But as I've reread them, I've learned to appreciate all the different aspects, because Brandon says he puts in different things for different people, and I've learned to appreciate basically everything in every book for every person. You've got the world building lore that people love. I've learned to love that. We've got the fights for the people that love fights, the emotional trauma and healing for the people that love emotional trauma and healing. I feel like I've learned to love each aspect because I've listened to them so much, and I've picked them all up. And so I feel like this book has just been a great culmination so far through day 8. We'll see if I like the end of day 10. Of just like these great works building up. Like, you've got lore, you've got fighting. Yeah, you're jumping around a lot, but you got a lot to cover.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we would like to talk about before our final episode? Any last-minute theories? Quick last-minute theories. I feel like mine was just proven, and I am going to want the recording of my face as I realize it.
It was a pretty hilarious face, to be honest. You had a little gap, so my went to you.
I bet you can see the light bulb go over my head,
well, and I saw the light on your screen change, and then 2 seconds later, your face was like.
It's like A1, U21, and then I had to do 24 just, and I was like.
Let me see if I have any other huge. I am sad that I missed you guys talking about when Talon freaking just goes ham in
Talon is that boy.
Arc. Oh my gosh, I was driving and I was just squealing in the car.
Me too.
Gosh, it was so cool.
I was fangirling so hard in the car by myself.
Can I find my notes?
I was gasping and squealing and giggling like mad. It was 5 freaking lines, and I'm like,
I know.
Anybody know what chapter that was?
Yeah, it was in one of my notes. It's the one that says it's about time. Because I literally as I was driving was opening up Discord, being a naughty, and, doing the voice to text. It's about freaking time.
Okay, let me go back and try to find it.
For the first time in 4,000 years, the Bearer of Acadis fought back. Anyway, so I'm sure you guys already went over that. So I don't think I have anything extra to really add on to any of this.
84 and 85. I wrote Talon sees himself as someone who will not break, which I think ties into our perception thing. And
Right.
oh, storms, yes, make them bear the agonies.
Dude, Abaddai's reaction was just like, yeah.
Gosh, it
I
was
think I
just
need some brown pants.
so awesome.
Did you guys, other thoughts, did you guys talk about the type of gemstone that is in Moash's eyes? Because I made a note
Crystal.
of that. Diamond.
Okay, that means nothing to me.
Well, okay, so
I know they each have a different thing. I don't know as well.
Yeah, the body focus for Diamond is the eyes. And I'm trying to remember
that's what
what
I was
it's.
thinking. I didn't double check it, but I wanted to. Can someone double check real quick what the body focus is?
I don't have
Hold
any
on.
Stormlight books here except for 5, and from what Kay said, there's no Ars Arcana.
I'm looking.
Isn't an Ars Arcanum. Here, I'll look it up, and I got a book here. I forgot. I was gonna try to look it up online, but I forgot I have a book.
I got
I
it
don't
right
trust
here.
the internet.
What is it? Please tell me it's the eyes.
4,
If
Vev,
it's not, I'm gonna be
Diamond, Lucentia, the eyes, soul casting properties, quartz, glass, crystal. Primary, secondary attributes: loving and healing.
No.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's not.
That's all right.
But the eyes, I mean, that one was spot on at least.
Thank you. I was like.
Are those all bind points? Are those all bind points for different types of
the
gemstones?
hair? Come on.
I don't know.
Garnet?
I don't remember.
Going into the skull in a different fashion than we've
Yeah.
seen before.
Like,
Okay,
like
but
tiny
garnet
little
is
needles.
blood.
Yeah.
So
it can't
Crystal
be a direct
Robot Man.
correlation, but there's got to be. But the point is, okay. Thank you for verifying that.
Heart.
Like diamond,
Blood could be heart.
I thought it was the eyes,
yeah.
but the point is they use diamond spike in place of his eyes, and that so like this whole like body focus has always been like, it's always been like, I think the body focus isn't really a thing, but then it becomes a thing. It's a thing for sharing hemalurgy and gemstones. Which does make you wonder: are there other does it impact the other things? Could you use crystal or diamond on other parts of the body, or would it be more effective or only effective? Because we do know gemstone color does affect
Its properties.
fabrials and fabrial properties, right? And so the fact that it's diamond, I think is he's very specific that he mentions that it's diamond. So I just wanted to bring that up. If it sounds like you guys didn't talk about that before, but it's yeah. Which I find interesting that they use gemstones instead of metal.
Interesting. Ruby's body focus is the soul. So yeah.
So if you we already know hemalurgic spikes can steal spren bonds. You can put them through gem heart. You can steal something and then put it into a gem heart.
Right.
So it then makes me wonder, like, to steal other things, like, what do you like? Does also the gem? Well, I mean, in hemalurgy, the metal that is used matters for what it steals. So therefore, also in hemalurgy via gems, the gem you use is going to matter for what it steals. Like, it just makes there's going to be a correlation, right? You use diamond to take enough of a soul or sight from someone to give someone else sight.
Yeah, but
so it's
he's
gonna
not
matter. They're taking.
It's not sight that he got. It's investiture sense.
Yeah, no, he sees investiture. The point
right,
is,
he interprets it as his sight.
Investiture sight, which is essentially what Inquisitors see.
Right.
They see metal, right? And metal on their world is because the world is made from the bodies of gods. The metal itself is all metal is a form of the body of a god. So therefore, it is investiture itself. So they see the metal, which is bodies of gods. Therefore, what he sees is bodies of gods or investiture, because gods are made up of investiture. So he is given sight. He's given investiture sight, just like
Okay, I
Inquisitors
think
are,
we're
which
done
makes
for
me
the
think
night then.
Inquisitors can see Spren as well.
I would agree with that, but I think we've gotten where we're gonna go. I think everything is just led up to these final 2 days.
Yeah, for sure.
John, anything else you would like to add?
No, I was just thinking about processing what Dragon was saying.
Okay. Well,
We it's okay. We can get excited about different things. That's all right. That's why we have different people on this podcast.
No, it's good. Like
I wouldn't have caught it.
The investiture lore, honestly, and world building is the thing that gets me the most excited about these books. Why I think this book has just been like since day one, like chapter one, basically, we've just been getting like dumps of information just like thrown on us like almost every chapter. It's incredible. But yes, I don't have any other theories or thoughts on theories. So
Okie dokie. Well, next episode we will be finishing Wind and Truth. It'll cover our entire book thoughts theories for what is come next in the cosmere, but most likely a very specific battle of champions. As always, you can find us at our social below. Subscribe, leave a like, comment your own thoughts and predictions. I think I've shown that considering the most outlandish theories can possibly come true a year. Theorize on your own behalf.
be your own advocate.
Exactly. You may be
throw
right.
enough darts and one of them will stick.
Exactly. But this is where we're going to stop. So we hope you all remember there's always another connection. Bye.